Welcome. This is my dietary analysis assignment. This is going to be an in-depth examination over my 3-day course of intake. So starting off, we have a form recap. This is just my vegetable and fruit equivalent, as well as the macronutrients and how much calorie percentage I got from each. We're going to go into more depth on these on the next slides. Starting off, we have our calculations. I use the weight loss calculation because in my actual and recommended intake, my overall total calorie intake was 2,002 calories out of the recommended 2,549 calories. So using the weight loss formula, I was about 500 calories less than my recommended intake. Using the weight loss formula, this would average to about 1 pound of weight loss per week. Beginning with protein, here, protein is 70% of my total calories. Some ways I would further optimize my diet is to ensure that my protein sources are varied and high quality, including things like lean meats, poultry, fish, eggs, and things of that sort. This is just to help obtain and complete the range of essential amino acids and additional nutrients that support my overall health. Moving on to carbohydrates, they were 51% of my total calories. Since they are the body's primary energy source, especially important for brain function, muscle activity, and maintaining blood glucose levels, ways I would improve my intake, even though it was adequate, it fell within the average percentage of daily intake. I noticed that there is ways I could tweak my dietary changes. So again, to improve my intake, I would consider incorporating more complex carbohydrates such as whole grains, fruits, vegetables, because these sources not only provide energy but also contribute to fiber, vitamins, and minerals that support digestive and metabolical health. Overall, my carbohydrate consumption is balanced in percentage but slightly low in quantity, and increasing my intake modestly could definitely help maintain steady energy levels throughout the day. Moving on to fats, it was 31% of my total calories. It's appropriate, so overall it is appropriate and balanced, providing enough essential fatty acids to support hormone production, nutrients absorption, and cell membrane integrity without exceeding healthy limits. Ways I would further improve my fat quality is to aim for more unsaturated fats, such as those found in avocados, nuts, seeds, things of that sort, just the healthy fats, while limiting saturated and trans fat from processed foods or fried items. Overall, my current fat intake supports good cardiovascular health and overall energy balance, which is fitting well within my recommended dietary guidelines. Moving on to saturated fats, I had about 10% of my calories from saturated fats, with the recommended being less than 10%. So while my intake does not exceed recommendations, maintaining saturated fat levels slightly below the 10% would be beneficial for long-term health and cardiovascular health. Heart and cardiovascular health. The high intake of saturated fats has been associated with increasing LDL or bad cholesterol levels, which can definitely raise the risk of heart disease over time. So ways I would improve my diet quality is to consider, again, replacing some of those saturated fat sources like butter, high-fat meats, and full-fat dairy with unsaturated fats like fish, nuts, seeds, avocados. Overall, my saturated fat intake is acceptable but near the upper limit, and making small adjustments could definitely help optimize my heart health and align more closely with dietary recommendations. Moving on to fiber, my average intake was 21 grams out of the recommended 35.7 grams, so it is low in the intake. As dietary fiber plays an important role in promoting healthy digestion, maintaining bowel regularity, and managing blood cholesterol levels. Ways I would improve my intake is considering to aim for more high fiber foods like whole grains, like whole wheat bread, fruits, vegetables, and nuts or seeds. Overall, my current fiber intake is below the recommended level, and just increasing it gradually could definitely enhance my digestive health, heart health, and overall nutrients balance. Moving on to sodium, it was high on the intake as I exceeded over 1,000 milligrams. This could increase the risk of long-term health concerns such as high blood pressure, heart disease, and even kidney strain, since excess sodium can also cause the body to retain water, leading to increased blood volume and elevated blood pressure. To reduce sodium levels in my diet, I'm definitely going to try and limit processed and packaged foods like frozen meals, deli meats, soups, chips, because they all are major sources of hidden sodium, and instead focus on fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and home-cooked meals. Overall, my sodium intake is above the recommended level, and making small adjustments to reduce sodium-rich foods can significantly improve my heart and kidney health over time. Moving on to vitamins, I have included the ones that I was deficient in, which were vitamin D and vitamin E. Ways I could do dietary changes to increase my vitamin D intake is to increase consumption of fatty fish, include fortified foods, spend more time in the sunlight. I know that's a silly one, but definitely me as a college student, I do spend more time indoors, and just taking a 10-minute walk could definitely add to that increase intake. Since my intake for vitamin D is below the recommended amount, this can affect my calcium absorption and bone health, since vitamin D is essential for maintaining strong bones, supporting immune functions, and regulating mood. Those are just ways I would make dietary changes to overall increase my intake. Next is vitamin E. Ways I would do dietary changes is to increase more my foods rich in vitamin E's like nuts and seeds, use vegetable oils, eat leafy green vegetables, and consider maybe taking a multivitamin in vitamin E. Since my intake of vitamin E is lower than recommended, it can compromise antioxidant protection in the body. Since vitamin E helps protect cells from oxidative damage and support immune and skin health, a deficiency may lead to muscle weakness. So again, just increasing the intake of vitamin E. Last but not least, we have the minerals, and again, I included the ones that I lack in, which are magnesium and iron. Some dietary changes I would do for magnesium is to increase my intake of leafy greens, eat more nuts and seeds, choose whole grains and legumes, and then limit processed foods, which are often low in magnesium. It's crucial for muscle and nerve function, health, heart rhythm regulation, and energy production. Inadequate intake may cause muscle cramps, fatigue, irregular heartbeat, and irritability. For iron, my iron intake is below the recommended levels. Again, this can lead to fatigue, weakness, pale skin, and decreased amount of immune function due to the reduced oxygen transport and red blood cells. Prolonged deficiency can cause iron deficiency anemia. So things I would do, dietary changes I would take, are to eat more iron-rich foods like red meat, poultry, and fish, which have heme iron, and they are better absorbed. And I would also include plant-based sources like lentils, spinach, and beans, which are, again, non-heme iron. And then consume vitamin C-rich foods like oranges, tomatoes, bell pepper, with plant iron sources to enhance absorption. Overall, this project has definitely helped lay out and really see where I get most of my nutrients, where I lack nutrients, and overall given me a better understanding of what foods to take. Definitely have implemented in my brain to eat more high nutrients dense foods and low energy foods, increase my take on whole foods, as this is beneficial all the way around, from proteins to carbohydrates to fats to saturated fats, and just making the conscious decision of the moderations of food, because anything taken in excess definitely is never good for the body. So overall, that was what this project has helped me see, and that basically sums up everything from my evaluation. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.